The letter H is for helpless. Paul writes, "We do not want you to be unaware, brothers and sisters, of the affliction we experienced in Asia, for we were so utterly, unbearably crushed that we despaired of life itself. Indeed, we felt we had received the sentence of death, so that we could not rely on ourselves, but only on God, who raises from the dead." You know, I hate being helpless. Yet so often that seems to be the human condition. One gets on an airplane, buckles the seatbelt, and waits to see what happens, having no control over events from takeoff to landing. It is the same with a train, or a bus, or an Uber, or a cab. Anne and I never felt so helpless as when our cab driver in Paris cut off a large truck. I recall standing watch with the Vietnamese in Da Nang at their Naval Command Center, listening to a coastal installation up near the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, be overrun. We could hear the sounds of the battle. We carried on a hurried conversation with the Vietnamese at that station. And then there was silence. We were all in the same boat at that command center, totally helpless. So I watched the evening news with video reports from the hospitals in New York and from New Orleans. I've heard about the lack of masks and the personal protective equipment for the nurses and physicians, or the dietitians and the janitorial staff, for everyone who is essential personnel. I hear my daughter in Los Angeles, who is counted as essential personnel as director of a health clinic, telling of having to drive across the city to fetch protective equipment for her clinic. And I'm helpless. There's nothing I can do. It is out of my control. Grandchildren are at home. Childcare can be an issue. But we grandparents are helpless. There's no way to travel to get there to provide assistance. Friends, relatives die for whatever reason. There's no way to have a service. Families are helpless while loved ones die without them. Security workers must turn people away at hospital doors. They must do so to prevent transmission of the infection. They hear the pleas, and their inner voices say, "Oh, go ahead, let them in." But they are helpless. Volunteers make masks. People experiment with new means of communication. Even here in our 70s and 80s and 90s, we're learning to Zoom. And we practice by having Zoom happy hours. We're getting really good at that. But we struggle to find ways to make a meaningful contribution, to find some way to be helpful. I sit at my computer and type a script. I copy cartoons and jokes for the community bulletin boards. I help organize various video presentations. Yet still in this crisis, I feel so helpless. The future is uncertain. We do not know what the new normal will be. We wait, and we feel helpless.